Joining me to talk about those topics and more are the four members of our Reporters Roundtable. Tonight we have Bridget Bergen from WNYC Radio. Greg Birnbaum is the Deputy Managing Editor at Politico. Laura Namias is an Albany reporter for Capital New York, and Colby Hamilton covers City Hall for DNA Info. Thank you all for joining us. Good to see you. Now, who was in that tense room the other day? It was watching the press conference. It was amazing to me, sort of how it was almost palpable. And I was thinking, it's not like he had any political enemies in the room, and it's not even like the questions were exceptional or unexpected. What accounted for that rising tension during that press conference?
I just think he hadn't, you got to figure he had not taken any off-topic questions for 2 days up to that point. They pushed all of the questions about this back. They knew this was coming, and I think this is the first time he's really had to deal with something head-on that he didn't want to have to talk about. This is what they want to talk about. You know, this is his first rollout of having to deal with an actual crisis. This is how he responded, and you know, I think that raises some questions about their preparedness for these sorts of things. But yeah, it was very tense. He was very, you know, it was amazing how long he let it go on too. It just kept going and
going.
Well,
that was the thing I couldn't understand either. Right?
Other politicians find themselves in uncomfortable press conferences, and someone cuts it off. And then the reporters are angry and everyone forgets about it, but it doesn't go on for quite that long. I wondered what the decision was there to let it last as long as it did and produce so much news.
My sense is that New Yorkers are fairly understanding, right? I mean, we had uncertainty piled on top of uncertainty. Nobody really knows what the weather's going to do, although they had a pretty good forecast, or a forecast that turned out to be quite accurate. And then how you plug it into the response model is also, you know, I mean, every time you add more and more uncertainty, I think everybody knows that stuff could just go to hell in a handbasket, and most, or more than half of the parents just said, you know what, I'm opting out. So in a way, they really drove the policy. The mayor didn't have that much to be defensive about, did he?
I think the fact that less than half of the kids showed up to school shows that he probably made the wrong decision in this case, but it's a judgment call. I mean, I'm more disturbed in a way by the, you know, the new friends of Bill, where if you're a friend of Bill, and you get that phone call that's going to help you out when you're in trouble. I find that kind of troubling. I know it goes on. Former Mayor Giuliani said that he might have done some similar things. I remember 20 years ago covering the Mullen Commission police hearings, and they were testifying at the hearing about a special tickler file. And in the tickler file were all the political cases, and those went right to the commissioner's office at a special channel for handling that stuff. This has been going on for decades, but you know what? It's very jarring with Mayor de Blasio's message, one of equality, fair treatment for everybody, equal opportunity for all, and then all of a sudden it comes up, well, some people get a little special consideration. So I found that more concerning than the snow issue.
But I think that's what made the entire press conference so attention-grabbing, was he really had two crises on his hand at the same time. He came out anticipating giving this weather update, sounding almost like he was going to apologize in the beginning. They talked about lessons learned, and yet there was this shift, and then it went into this defensive mode, standing behind the decision, and then just saying that we'll let you know how we make these decisions going forward, as that would be like the solution to this snow day that people were complaining about, and the fact that his chancellor had called it a beautiful day, which I think probably is not the word she meant to use.
Right.
But then on top of that, all of the questions around something that had happened days before, something that they could have handled the day after it happened. Instead, they let this issue play out, be on the front of newspapers, and then waited to address it when they had to respond to it.
Does the mayor have a problem saying, you know, sorry I goofed? Because with the phone call, I thought of that mostly as a delegation issue. You know, I mean, obviously, look, if the guy is important for whatever reason, either because he's friends with the mayor or for whatever other reason, and you hear that he's gotten arrested, maybe somebody should find out what the heck is going on. It probably shouldn't be the mayor calling a deputy chief, so there's a sort of a delegation issue there, but a call ought to get made. It doesn't seem to me that that would have been a crazy thing to say. Say, look, sorry, I forgot I'm the mayor. I forgot that my phone calls are more important now.
I wondered if the issue wasn't that delegation issue, and also one of, we have a new administration where the mayor as a candidate was critical of the NYPD, and we might be seeing an NYPD less inclined to keep secrets. I'm sure that those kinds of phone calls have been made in the past over and over again, but maybe people willing to give out information on the force.
Yeah, tell your Inspector General about that, right? Oh, okay, interesting theory, Laura. We're going to talk some more with these fine reporters in just a moment. And remember, if you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can do that on Twitter. We are at Errol Louis or at Inside City Hall. Stay with us.